This 2-week forecast takes us out through the past the fall equinox and on through to the end of the month of September. So we are in a decidedly fall weather pattern. Whatever you say about the weather, it's fall, all right? So we're looking at fall. We're looking for fall trends. What's going on? Well, we're not seeing the heat that we were back in August and the early part of September, although we are expecting a warm surge to come northward. In fact, it's happening as this forecast period begins. It's not going to be hot like the weather was earlier. And when we talk about hot weather, it's mostly not as hot as it was during the middle of summer. The other thing that's really important across especially the corn bean belt are those fall rains. You get into this time of the year where evaporation in the cooler weather goes down, and so rain is much less likely to evaporate, more likely to soak in and replenish the soil lost during a hot, dry summer. So it's time to get those soil moisture situations back up to where we want them to be going into spring. So as we start off the pattern, there's that warm surge again, springing northward again. That's caused in part by the powerful hurricane moving off the out to sea again after pestering the eastern edge of the continent here over the weekend. So we're going to see some warm weather. Now by hot, back in August, this would be 90s and 100s. Now we're talking about this kind of weather being in the 80s with maybe a few 90s in the south. The warm weather is more consistently the 70s or about 70. And as we go through the week, there will be a bit of troughiness developing in the west, and that's going to give us a little bit of a trend toward southwest to northeast flow in the northern plains, which eventually, by the weekend, will likely set us up for a chance of rain here in the northern plains, something that's been decidedly lacking recently. We're also going to see in this pattern warm weather being pulled back up into the northeastern states, while the really cool stuff is for the time being staying up north, largely because of this rather peculiar wobble in the jet stream over the western part of Canada. Now, some cooler weather will build down this weekend into the northern Rockies. That's our best chance for getting some rain right here in the northern plains. As we go through the week the second week of this period, the heat in the east will subside, will be replaced by some cooler weather, start to see more freezing temperatures showing up mostly in northern Canada, but the pattern will continue to be relatively wavy. So what does that mean for precipitation? Well, as the big hurricane storm moves out to sea, this rain will be early in the week, then things should dry out. Most of the southeast and eastern corn belt looks pretty dry. I do see some monsoonal rains and some midwestern showers and thunder showers, and a little bit of rain in the northern Rockies. The second week, now the last week of September, a better chance to get some wet weather over much of the Great Plains and the western corn belt for the first time in a while.